at the end of the day, for them to be interested, we have to be interesting. And so
you're way more interesting than me, man.
Well, I don't know about that, but one way to be interesting, the way Gary Vee puts it is with kind of a podcast in general, a podcast specifically. If you think about a high school, just a classic, something you'd see on a movie, just a high school party where, there's jocks there that are cool kids. There's, you've got just the good looking people that are just, the cool kids. There's the cheerleaders are cool kids and athletes, whatever. And then there's the kid whose parents just weren't there. And he's the one hosting the party. And he's a cool kid at that party because that's where everybody's going to party. And that's kind of what it's like sometimes to be a podcast host because, you just provide the place for the cool people to show up to. And it allows you to win also. But I think that there's a level of authenticity that we should, sometimes try to maintain because the audience and the market, the mob, can sniff through bullshit, and so that's why I like to stay true to people that I'm interested in and try to circle them back. With farming, like it'll be pretty easy to circle it back to anybody because everybody eats.
Boom.
So, I mean, you can just like, what's your nutrition like? Okay, well, guess what? A farmer was involved. All right, now let's talk about football, whatever.
Correct,
so you can circle it back however you want. But, I think, is there a world where if I were to, move to, if I'm spending time around comedians right now in Texas, like, all right, well, if I'm down around Austin, I'm going to have more opportunities. Or if I were in Vegas, if there was a time where if you were in LA, like all the hot podcasters were like, not hot as in good looking, but just like doing really well, they were all in LA. Well, like you can chase those locations and get more guests. Yeah. Or I can stay here, stay true to who I am. Yesterday, I had Tim Washington on, who is a cowboy and worked on the Matador Ranch for the last 36 years and never done an interview, never done anything on media, doesn't have social media, but he's cowboyed his entire life. He's, a man of God, has some cool stories about roping bulls and a tornado taking his house. And we got to talk about that yesterday. And now the whole world is going to get to hear his conversation about what it's like to grow up as a cowboy in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So anyway, I don't know if you stay true to yourself, and I think that, like I said, the Lord's going to reward you with opportunities, but for them to be interested, we have to be interesting. That's one thing the market will not care about.